What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be trying to install this bad boy right here. Show you how everything. So I did buy this system used, but the guy said that he swapped out his truck with like a LS3 Protrider, and that's the only reason he was getting rid of it. And he bagged and tagged everything. So I'm hoping everything is there, so it's an easy install. The instructions are kind of crap, I'm not gonna lie. So based off of other Volant installs that I've seen, this one's a little bit different. The only difference here is this lower piece right there. This one, somehow it goes right there where the tow hook is. And you unbolt the tow hook and then you bolt that in between with the tow hook. So that's the only difference I can see. So I'm gonna try installing it. I tried counting up all the pieces too, making sure that all the parts were there. They seem to be there, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on this. But the first step whenever you're installing this intake system is you gotta disconnect the battery. I already loosened it, so don't think I was running it like that. So I'm gonna let that sit for about 20 seconds, then start disconnecting my whole OEM intake. So I'm back. I know it looks like I did a lot of progress, but I actually had an issue before I even started on this kit that I saw. If I can find it, oh, it's back here. So when I got this kit, it had right here, that piece right there. I plugged this, so I just bought this from Ace Hardware. If you ever need like random things like plugs or small grommets, things like that you can't really find at Lowe's or Home Depot, I would recommend Ace Hardware or something like that you have. But this had like a piece of PVC that went to like a, I'm guessing they'd use it for like air fuel ratio or something. But I just plugged that, so that's what I did that for. And then I kind of got ahead of myself whenever I got home because it's hot and I want to get this done. Right now I just removed the stock intake. As you can see, it's pretty easy to do. It's literally just like an 8mm. So I removed the engine cover, and then these right here, if you care, you can use a flathead or it's an 8mm. You just undo these, just loosen them up. This part pops off, and the same thing with this thing. Also, I took the mass airflow sensor out of this one since I'm going to be using it on the new cold air intake. So I'm going to go ahead and try and figure this out really quickly, and then I'll tune back in with y'all. All right, so I got the first part of this mocked up. So this is the scoop that you saw earlier. This is essentially how it bolts up. So to put this in, you do have to remove your OEM, I guess, tow hook cover. I'm not too sure, but all it is 10 bolts, 10mm bolts. So 2 of them on each side. Then this piece just lifts up. So then all it does is flip up like this, and then you can pull it out. But yeah, that's all it is for this lower part. And this bolt right here, so it holds this in as well. So I'm leaving it loose because once I got everything where it needs to be at, then I'll tighten everything up. But that is an 18mm wrench. Well, 18mm is the size they use, but I'm using a long extension. But I'm gonna wait till, like I said, everything is mocked up. So this is where I'm at right now, just to give y'all an update on it. So this is where I ended up at right now. So I got the box put in. This thing was a pain in the butt to bolt on, I'm not gonna lie. So the way I did it was I got these 2 in first. Those at the far left, and then these 2 over here in. But it took a lot of manhandling. And what I would recommend is first to bolt down the box, and then, if you can see it up there, after you bolt down the box and you already have the gasket put onto the box, then I would slide this piece right here inside the sleeve and then tighten it at the top right there at that bottom piece so that it'll tighten on to this thing. And then I would leave this loose. You could just leave it hanging with having that bolt put in there like I do. See how it still moves a little bit? So now that the box is done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to putting on the top part of the intake. All right, so the next step you wanna do is you got your mass airflow sensor, and then it's gonna come with 2 mass airflow gaskets. So the first one is going to go onto the mass airflow side, or it bolts up to, and the other one is going to go on the inside, obviously, and then you put the adapter plate on first. Well, put the adapter plate on, and just make sure you have the mass airflow facing the right way. It'll even show you here, right here where it says flow, arrows pointing this way because the air is coming from here and going that way. So I just hand tighten them. You don't want to over crank them or anything because you don't want to break the plastic or the mass airflow sensor. So next step, I'm just going to be putting the filter on, putting the cover on, and then connecting it to the throttle body. Alright, so after that crazy storm that just passed through, this is our install. Pretty clean overall. The guy said he only had it for 2,000 miles. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I did buy it used off of Facebook, and it was $240. But it was an hour drive to Plano. Obviously an hour drive back, so gas, I'm gonna say it was like $260 overall. But I mean, it had everything. He bagged everything up and wasn't missing any parts whatsoever. And yeah, the filter, if y'all saw it in the pictures, or sorry, the video, it looked basically brand new, so I'm happy with the purchase. I haven't even driven it yet since I had to pick up all my tools and everything because it started pouring. But I'm gonna go take it for a quick drive, show y'all how it drives, and see if I even notice a difference at all. I've been driving the truck for about 10 minutes now, and I mean, I can notice a slight difference, but it's nothing really crazy. I will say though, so whenever, I'll see if I can get a clip of it, but my idle did raise up a little bit, like about 200. So instead of, it used to sit at like 400, 500, now it sits at like, I want to say 600 to almost 700 sometimes. Feels a little bit normal, but it does feel like maybe if you step on it, like I noticed I get higher RPMs quicker, but it's nothing like freaking 50 horsepower or anything like that. I will say also, the one thing that I noticed whenever I first installed it, turned on the truck and everything, so like right here, let's see if it does it. My idle did raise up. So it used to be, if you saw in previous videos, it'd be at like 500, 400 sometimes. Right now it's like 600, 700, pretty close to 700. So, and it's pretty smooth now. It's not really dropping or anything. On my previous intake, or you know, the stock intake, sometimes it would drop. It would go from like 500 to 400 and go back up. I don't know if that was the issue, maybe that old intake, but this one right here, it seems fine so far. Only time will tell. I know also it's supposed to give you better gas mileage, but I've been at 13.6 for these past 10 minutes. So I guess I'll just have to do an update video later on, in maybe a month or two, how it performs. But this is how it's looking so far. I'll see if I can get a pull in for y'all also. All right, so I'm pulling up to Montgomery Speedway. If you're local around here in Fort Worth, I'm by Dickey's Arena. But yeah, this is my little drag strip that I have in my neighborhood. So I'm gonna do a quick 0 to 60 and we'll see how smooth it is. I also wonder, since it raised the RPMs, if that old intake, the stock one, had like a crack in it and it was leaking. Because that would make a lot of sense. Because sometimes it would drop in idle, like very noticeably, whenever you're just like at a red light or something. So it could have been that. So this intake might have been a good move overall. Wait till homeboy passes by. All right, 50% throttle. honestly, it feels way better now. It could just be a placebo effect since, you know, I got that new intake or whatever. I know I say that placebo effect a lot. But, yeah, it's through the RPM range. It was pretty smooth. So, I am happy with this intake. If you were looking to purchase this thing, I would recommend it, especially since it's like an actual cold air intake system where it has its own box like the OEM one. And on top of it all, well, mine has the scoop that goes behind the tow hook at the bottom of the valence. That's obviously even more cold air going in. So it goes from the fender and from the bottom. So I don't think you could go wrong with this thing. And Volant products, I mean, they look like they do what they're made to do, which is increase horsepower a little bit. I'm not going to say, yeah, there's any huge major gains. Like, don't look to be getting 50 horsepower out of this or anything. But it is noticeable, and it does make the truck run smoother. So I'll also have to catch y'all up probably in a few months just to update on miles per gallon if that makes any difference. But yeah, I've been at 13.6 ever since I came back from San Antonio, so we'll see how that goes. So that's going to wrap up this quick video. I did not know I looked this beat up. I just dropped off some stuff at UPS, and yeah, I was looking ratchet, so that sucks. But anyways, stay tuned for the next video. We'll see what we do. I'm a very impulsive buyer, so if I see something I need, I know I need a bed cover. So that's like the last thing on my list for this truck, obviously until it gets painted. So I'll look for a bed cover or just anything else that I could use in this truck.